Everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. I'm getting pretty excited as we count down the days to October 4th when we reveal our new line of exclusive stamps and dies at Ellen Hutson LLC. They're going to be called Essentials by Ellen, and today I'm super excited to give you a preview of one of my favorite, and that's the zipper panel. And all of our dies are going to come packaged in this durable clear envelope. And I wanted you to see that the zipper panel is actually designed with an open area in the middle because we wanted to be able to add some bonus words in there that you could use all year round. And so you can just separate those, bend the tines, snip them, and sand them down, and you can use them all independently of each other. And all the dies come with a backer card that has the die's name and the product code, and they will also have magnetic sheet for them to stick to, and then you just slip it right inside your storage envelope and everything stays nice and secure and won't get lost. There's no adhesive on that flap and you're going to be so organized. It's awesome. And I've already cut a quarter sheet of heavyweight cardstock, the Card Shop by Basil. And then I've also die cut from some marshmallow cardstock 2 zipper panels, and I'm going to show you why. The first one I'm going to set aside. It's the one I'm going to stamp and decorate. The second one I'm going to trim with my paper trimmer, and I'm using the perforation lines and the score lines on the second piece as a guide, and I'm going to trim just inside those perforation lines. And this is going to create an additional panel. This is going to be a reinforcement panel that is going to fit perfectly. And you could cut it separately by hand, but this seemed to me the easiest way to just get a dead-on perfect match piece that's going to go right there in the middle. And you can see I'm not covering up the perforation lines. So I'm going to set that reinforcement piece aside and talk about that in a minute. But for right now, I'm going to take my other zipper panel and I'm going to go ahead and stamp and decorate it while it's still flat and unassembled. And this is the Santa. He's kind of funky and retro, and he's from a set called 'Tis the Season, and I borrowed also the Naughty and Nice sentiment from that set. And I'm going to color in very quickly with my watercolor pencils. I like to use my watercolor pencils just as regular colored pencils. Just don't add water, and you can get some really nice shading effects. And for his beard, I like to outline white images with a soft blue around the outer edges. Now this pencil is a little bit darker, so I'm using kind of a light touch, so it may not show up that well on video camera, but it helps white objects appear even whiter when you outline them with a soft blue. And then for some added interest and accent, I borrowed some little sparkles from a set called Christmas Scribbles and stamped those with the Hero Arts soft granite ink because I didn't want them to overwhelm Santa. Now I'm going to layer this to that green base card, but it's going to cover up the whole thing. So you don't have to do this. This is just something I decided to do as I was designing the project. And I'm going to trim 1/8 of an inch off each side of my main zipper panel. And the reason for that is it will give me a nice 1/8 inch border. So when I mount that, you can see the green edges showing. You don't have to. The zipper panel is an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I just wanted to, change up the design a little bit and do a little bit something different. So now it's time to start assembling the reinforcement piece, which is going to go on the inside. And I'm just using my tape runner. This is Glue Glider Pro. It's the high-tack cartridge, and it doesn't have to be any particular kind of adhesive. I just use this because it's quick and easy. And I'm going to mount this to the inside back. This is the reinforcement piece that's going to go to the inside back of my zipper panel. So as you notice, I'm making very sure that I'm not covering up any of the perforation lines. So that's all nested in there nice, and it mounted down nice and firmly. And there you see the thumb notch. And I'm actually, just as part of my design here, I'm going to take the thumb notch and fold it toward the inside and just crease that really nicely with my bone folder. You could cut it off if you wanted to, but I just left it there. And my husband pointed out to me that his fingers were a lot bigger than mine. And so if you have someone who has larger hands that you're going to give this to and you want to give them a little bit more room on the thumb notch, you can just trim, just make a couple snips along those perforation lines there by the thumb notch. And it will give a little bit bigger gap for someone who has much bigger hands to slip their thumb into. Now I also cut a separate zipper panel and cut out the interior so that I could use it as a mask. And I'm always going to store this in the clear pouch with my die so that anytime I need to stamp something on the inside of the back panel, I know exactly what the guidelines are so I can make sure whatever I'm stamping in there stays inside the perforation lines. So now it's time to start assembling everything. I'm so excited because this is such a fun thing. And I'm going to use Be Creative tape. You want to use a very strong industrial strength adhesive around the edges here. So I'm using Be Creative tape, and I'm just running 3 pieces of it along the outer edges there of the zipper panel, and I'm butting them up close to the perforation lines, but I'm not crossing over or covering the perforation lines with any adhesive at all. But the Be Creative tape is perfect for this. And then I add a little bit of tape runner there up to the top. It's most important to get those 3 sides covered with that Be Creative tape. And so now I have my green base card. I've got my gift card that's going to go inside, and I'm going to go ahead and center that, make sure it's centered, and then take my zipper panel. And I probably should have left the liner papers on there, but I was in such a hurry. I'm so excited to finish this because I think it's turning out so cute. And then I'm just going to go ahead and plop that down, make sure that it's nicely centered and straight. The liner papers, leaving them on and just bending them outward a little bit would have given me a little bit more fudge room, but luckily I got this mounted on there nice and straight, so no worries. I'm just going to burnish that down, make sure it's nicely mounted, nice and firmly to the base card. And then to open it, the recipient just takes their thumb through the thumb notch and bursts the perforation lines and peels up that opening there, and whatever's inside, the great surprise, is revealed. And this person's getting a great surprise, because who wouldn't love something like that? I think this die is such a fun one. You're going to use the zipper panel all year round. I'm so excited about the release. Can't wait to show you everything. And thanks for watching.